Okay, so good morning, my dear friends. Today we are going to have discussion on coordinate geometry for our for our ninth standard students, especially for 10th standard students. I have already discussed in detail, and I have already uploaded a video in my channel. So 10th standard students, they will be very much clear and they can see that video. But for ninth standard students, basic information what it was required to give that I am giving in this video, because for them it is the first time they are going to study in ninth standard about this coordinate geometry. So the basic information on what actually is a coordinate, what is x-axis, what is y-axis, what is origin. If you want to position an object and wants to define its position with respect to x-axis and y-axis, so that particular information I have given. X coordinate is called abscissa, y coordinate is called ordinate. Okay, and then lastly I have discussed about quadrants: first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant. So all those four quadrants, in first quadrant whether x coordinate will be positive, so x coordinate and y coordinate both will be positive. In second quadrant, x coordinate will be negative, y coordinate will be positive. In third quadrant, x coordinate and y coordinate both will be negative. In fourth quadrant, x coordinate is positive, y coordinate is negative. So these informations we have already discussed in this video, and it will give a complete idea of this chapter, coordinate geometry chapter, to my ninth standard students, and I am 100% sure that they will be very clear with the basic concept. Okay, so right, I feel let us move to understand full concept. Okay, right, nice. Okay, so let us have a discussion on coordinate geometry. Coordinate geometry, and this is for ninth standard students now. Okay, ninth standard students. Already we had a discussion on coordinate geometry which is applicable for 11th standard students. So but now we are going to talk coordinate geometry for ninth standard students who need to have basic concepts. Basic concepts. So till now, the student of ninth standard, or you can say up to 8th standard, they have not studied this coordinate geometry. This is the first time they are going to study. So they need to have some basic concepts, and utilizing these basic concepts, they will be solving further more questions in 10th standard. Okay, so in 10th standard, also I have already published my video. So the student, those who are in 10th standard, they can see. But now I am talking for ninth standard completely. So for ninth standard, it is just basic information. So what basic information is, what actually coordinate geometry. So I know that our students, they have already studied about number line. Okay, so in that number line, what they did, they have drawn a line which is extending both sides. Okay, and middle point is being named as origin, and which is having a value as 0, and right hand side all positive numbers are there like this. Left hand side of this 0, negative numbers are there in this way. Okay, so this is the number line in which they have represented all integers. In which they have represented all integers. So that representation of real numbers, already our students, they have studied. They are knowing about this number line. They are also knowing about this central point, which is 0. And right hand side of that is all positive numbers. Left hand side of this 0, all negative numbers. So this much information they are already having. with them. So it's not new to them. So now coordinate geometry will become more easy. So this horizontal line, about this horizontal line, they have studied. Now in coordinate geometry, what we do, we draw a vertical line also simultaneously. So vertical line is drawn in this way. Okay. Vertical line is also drawn at this 0. And this 0 is named as origin. This 0 is named as origin, having its coordinates as 0 and 0. Now, why these two things are written 0 and 0? So, it is because now this particular, you can say, system has taken the case of a plane. It is called as a plane now. Earlier, it was only a single number line. And in that single number line, we were representing the numbers. Like if you were asked, where is 3? So, okay, this point is 3. Where is minus 3? So, this point is minus 3. Okay, so like this. But now, what actually it is, suppose if we have kept something on our table, on this particular, you can say, notebook, if I have kept this pen, okay, at some particular point here. Now, we need to say that this particular point is at what place. We have to define its position. Then how we will be defining its position? So we will be defining its position. Suppose if we are taking the reference, okay, suppose if I am keeping here in origin itself, okay. Now this particular, if I want to say that the pen is positioned on the notebook, okay, so this many centimeters from right hand margin, this is the margin, okay, so from right hand margin the distance is so and so, suppose it is some 5 centimeter, and from the top margin the distance is somewhere 10 centimeter. So if I will say that it is placed at the point 0 and 10. Suppose if I am taking this, so this will be taken as, okay, y-axis, and from y-axis the distance is 5 centimeter, which will be measured in x-axis. Okay, so this is called x-axis. So horizontal line will be called as x-axis. And now this particular distance, okay, which is calculated from this margin, top margin, okay, so this distance actually it is calculated from the x-axis only, okay, so this is, and on y-axis we are measuring, so that measurement is on y-axis but measured from x-axis, so this distance is 10 centimeter. So okay, so we can say that it is having some 5 centimeter distance, so 5 and 10 will be the coordinate of this particular pen. Okay, so this is actually coordinate. So now this origin 0 0 which we have written, it is called coordinate. I hope our students, they would have understood that what actually coordinates. Okay. In your 11th standard, you will be studying 3-dimensional geometry. It is called 2-dimensional geometry. 2-dimensional, 2D. 2D, 3D, everybody is knowing nowadays. Okay. So 2-dimensional. Why 2-dimensional? Because one axis, horizontal line, is called as x, x dash axis. Okay. These all are axis. Okay. Axis. Then this is called as axis, y axis. This vertical line is called as y axis, horizontal line is called as x axis. Okay. So the coordinate geometry actually explains us, actually provides us the methodology to find the position of any object. Suppose any point P you are putting here. This point P will be at some distance from this y axis. Okay, suppose this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. Similarly, bottom side also this is -1, -2, -3. Okay, so suppose this particular point P is at a distance. So how much distance it is? So this distance is same as from here to here. Okay, so on x-axis we are measuring. So one coordinate will be -2. Then this point is at what distance from this x-axis? So the distance is 3. This distance is 3. So 3. It may be any unit. Okay, so now this particular point means this distance is taken. So here this particular point is representing -2 in x-axis and 3 in y-axis. -2 in x-axis. So we are always writing the coordinate x first and then y later on. This is y. Okay, so any coordinate of any point P. Okay, so it will have in this form an x coordinate will be written first, then comma, and then y coordinate. Which we have already done here. Okay, x coordinate is also called as abscissa, 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 and y coordinate is known as simply ordinate. Simply ordinate. Okay, the central reference point is called as origin. Okay, so central reference point is called origin and is generally denoted by O, and its coordinate, okay, its coordinate is 0 and 0. Neutral place, central place it is. So all measurements are done from origin. From origin, if suppose we need to find this particular point P, okay, then how we will be finding? Because this will form a right angle triangle. Okay, so we are having this distance with us. We are having this distance with us. Okay, so by utilizing Pythagoras theorem, suppose I am naming it as PA. So this PAO has become a right angle triangle. Okay, so PA square plus OA square will give the square of this hypotenuse. Then we will be able to find, by putting a square root, we will be able to find the distance of this point P from O, this distance. Okay, so x coordinate and this is, so this is x coordinate, sorry, this is x coordinate, this is y coordinate. Okay, now suppose if somebody will say that this is having 3 only, you are writing only 3. So actually the coordinate on all x-axis, okay, on axis especially, we will write, or I will show here itself. Actually the coordinates on x-axis itself, on axis alone, I am telling you that it will become x coordinate is 3, y coordinate is 0 on axis. Similarly, on y axis, all the coordinates will have x coordinate as 0. So 0 and 3, 0 and 2, 0 and 1, like this, 0 and -1. Similarly, on x axis, we are having 3, 0, 2 and 0, 1 and 0, like this. Actually, on this axis, it is having coordinate as 3, 0. Instead of 3, 0, we have written as 3. So all coordinates on x axis will have coordinate of x and 0. So on x axis, it will have x and 0. On y axis, it will have coordinate, x coordinate is 0, x coordinate is written first always, and then y. Okay, origin already we are knowing. Now I will tell you about quadrant. Okay, so let me erase this one. I will tell you about quadrant now. So let us have a discussion on quadrants. So you have understood that what actually is coordinate. Coordinate is a plane. So this is x axis, x dash we are writing. Then y dash, this arrow is showing that this is a line which will be extending both sides. Okay. So now if suppose here, so this is origin having 0 and 0. Okay. Then this one, this point is O. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. So as number line you are writing, so right hand side it will become positive numbers. Left hand side it is negative numbers, -1, -2, -3. Similarly, downward in y axis it is having negative numbers, -2, -3. Okay, so these distance between 1 and 2, 2 and 3 equal. So generally in graph sheet we are drawing. Okay, so here just it is rough. Then it is this side it will become plus 2, 3. So this is called, we are moving anti-clockwise direction, gentlemen, anti-clockwise. Okay, which is called counter-clockwise also, anti-clockwise or counter-clockwise. Because in a clock, it is moving clockwise direction, in this direction. Okay, in a clock. So the hour hand or the minute hand, it is moving in clockwise direction. So the direction which is followed by a clock is called clockwise. Opposite to it, it is called anti-clockwise, and this is called first quadrant. This is called second quadrant. This is called third quadrant, and this is called fourth quadrant. Fourth quadrant means this one. First quadrant is this one. Second quadrant, third quadrant. So what we are finding? We are finding that in first quadrant, x also is positive, y also is positive. So in this case, its coordinate will be x and y. Both are positive. In second quadrant, you have seen that x has become negative, but y is positive. So here, minus x and y. In third quadrant, you see that y coordinate is also negative, x coordinate is also negative. So minus x and minus y. In fourth quadrant, we do have x coordinate as positive, but y coordinate as negative. So now once we are having the information of coordinates, we are able to say that in first quadrant what type of numbers will be coming, means what type of coordinates will be there. X coordinate will be positive, or y coordinate will be negative, or y coordinate will be positive. So if we are given any point, we will be able to say by following this nomenclature, we will be able to say that in which quadrant actually it is lying. Correct? Like for an example, first, if I say that we are given 2 and 3, So here we see that 2, which is x coordinate, it is also positive. Then 3, which is y coordinate, it is also positive. So both are positive. So it will be lying in first quadrant. Why it is called quadrant? Because a circle, it is just like a circle which is divided into 4 parts, 4 equal parts. So this is first, this is second, and this is third, and this is fourth. So a circle is being divided into 4 equal parts. That's why it is called quadrant. So each one is called quadrant. Okay. So by seeing the number itself, we can say that it is lying in which quadrant. Okay. Second, suppose any other example for this one. So we can say that if it is -2 we can take and 3 we can take positive. So x coordinate has become negative, y coordinate has become positive. So it is lying in second quadrant. Second quadrant. In third one, both are negative. Both are negative. So we can say that -3 and -3 both are negative. So it is lying in third quadrant. In fourth quadrant, x is positive. So 3. Y is negative. So -3. It is lying in fourth quadrant. Lying in fourth quadrant. So we are able to find out that in which quadrant it is. Okay. Right? Also, I want to say that never go for reversing of it. Okay. Like 2 and 3 if we have written, 2 and 3 is not equal to 3 and 2, gentlemen. Because here 2 is showing x coordinate. Okay. If by mistake also you are reversing, so this is also x coordinate only. First one is x coordinate. So how 2 can become equal to 3? It will not be. It will be only in one case, when both coordinates are equal. Okay. So you can say that if 3 and 3 are there, yes, you can write 3 and 3. Why? Because there is no change in meaning. In that case, we can write 3 and 3. But if both are different, we cannot write 2, 3 as 3, 2. So x coordinate has to be first. So x coordinate here in this 3, 2, x coordinate is 3, and in this 2, 3, x coordinate is 2. So it will not be equal. So this particular part we must remember, gentlemen. Okay. So x and y, you can say is equal to y and x only if x equal to y. Suppose a general formula you want to devise. Okay. So you can say that if x and y is given to you as y and x. Okay. If it is given, it shows clearly that x is equal to y. Shows clearly x equal to y. But if it is not like that, it means x is not equal to y. Okay. Right. So if suppose I say that x and y is not equal to y and x, it means x is not equal to y. It is true. Okay. So this is the only basic information which is required for 9th standard students, and they need to understand specifically that what actually is coordinate and what are the axis, x-axis and y-axis, what is the central reference point, origin, what actually it is, and mainly they need to know about the quadrants information. So for their syllabus in CBSE, this much only information is given, and the same information they are going to utilize in 10th standard. Okay, so right, fine. I hope my students would have understood. With example, we have already solved it. Okay, so thank you.